Hey, what's going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here to break down the 5-game NBA Summer League slate on Saturday, day 2. Now, contest not as big as day 1. I will say, though, we're going to have the contest will go up during MLB All-Star break, which I think is in another day, starts another day or two. So don't be too worried about this. Expect 20 or even 25K to first up top during those during the All-Star break. But yeah, guys, if your first time watching, again, I cover content for DFS, Prize Picks, Underdog, Parlay Play, all that good stuff. If you guys are interested in more content for DFS, you can check my Patreon link down below, or for Prize Picks as well. So let's recap tonight, and then we can get into the breakdown. So tonight, thanks to the late slate, squeaked out a profit for Summer League. However, I lost overall DFS because I had Brittany Griner in the 3-3-3, and she got injured right away. So had me in piss. Props overall, I went 7-5, so it's like not for Summer League, not bad, not great. Had a couple really bad beats. The one thing I'm the most upset about is Ben Shepherd, man. I got his error line. It was literally an error line of 16.5. Talked about that with a lot of people. People are betting it up at 21. It closed at 22.5 PRA. And in 35 minutes, Ben Shepherd, who was a literally starter for the Indiana Pacers, is playing huge minutes in the playoffs. 4 points, 2 rebounds, 1 of 10 shooting. You can't, dude. So that was the miss I'm the most upset about it. A couple pretty bad hooks as well. So it's this close to a pretty big day for props. Started off really strong, and then again a couple bad beats at the end there. But this is my late slate lineup. We can quickly cover that, and then we'll get into the breakdown. So we got news for Washington that they're arresting 3 players. It was Vukcevic, Jared Butler, and Patrick Baldwin. So that really made those Washington value plays solid, right? And point guard was really weird in the late slate. There were no options. So I just decided, I'm prioritizing Carrington. Also, with all those guys getting ruled out, it really did make the Washington spend-ups look better, right? And that's why Summer League, you have to react quick, right? So before we knew that Wizards news, I wasn't really interested in the Wizards spend-ups. I was looking at those value plays. But once we got those 3 guys ruled out, that kind of changed things. And so you have to be able to, react really quick. And so we kind of try to talk through that in the Discord as well. But I went with Carrington, Johnny Davis, and Eugene Amourier. Eugene Amourier shot 1 of 10 as well, man. I was like, what are we doing here? Johnny Davis, that guy needs to be sent overseas. I don't know. Get him out of the NBA. Kobe Brown, that was an outlier, really bad game. But you had outlier, good game for Miller, who I think he had 36 real-life points. So can't expect that again. Diabate, solid, nice double-double. And then rounded out with Windler, Strother, and Hunter Tyson, who was didn't have the best game as a pretty high-owned play. But, so that was the recap there of Summer League. And, let's get into it. So, Detroit, Philadelphia, here's the first game. So Detroit, you got at the top, Marcus Sasser's 8.6K. Expect him to chuck. You look at this Pistons roster, this is a pretty bad roster, I'm not going to lie. So expect a lot of usage from Marcus Sasser. He had that one massive game at the end there of the Summer League. So definitely like his ceiling. Expect good minutes for Wendell Moore as well. Second or third year guy from Minnesota. Got traded over, so he's a guy that put them all in the bucket. Only 5K. I think he stands out as a pretty good value play. So I definitely like Wendell Moore. You have the rookie Ron Holland at 7.9K. Keep an eye on. I'm going to do some digging here with some of this injury news. Haven't really had time just because obviously the slate was going on. But if Holland plays, I think I'd rather go to Sasser at the top over him. Other options for Detroit, you got Clintman at 5.4K. Didn't have the best numbers in college, 10 and 5. So I think he's reasonable, but I think I'd rather go to Wendell Moore, a similar price point. And then it's kind of this roster is pretty gross. We'll keep an eye on what they do with the starting lineup. But you have Slauson. He played for the Kings last year. He's kind of an undersized big. He could be interesting if he starts. There's a few guys that could be interesting value plays here for the Pistons, but. I think it's mainly Sasser and Moore there for Philadelphia. So we have seen Philadelphia play in those pre-Summer League games. And Ricky Council is going to chuck when he's out there. So 9K, he didn't have the best Summer League last year, but it was a completely different roster. He's averaging, I think in the G League, I want to say like 22 points a game. And he's had a couple pretty big games here in the pre-summer league game. So, yeah, really like his ceiling. McCain at 7K. Has also played well in the summer league. The Counts pre-summer league game 7K, I think is a reasonable price point. Bona, they're big. Not a guy with a massive ceiling just because the offense kind of isn't really there. So, I think he's fine, but not someone I'm really going to go out of my way to play. And then, yeah, I think Langford will probably get some run. We'll monitor the starting lineup. This switched up a little bit, but expect a lot of the offense to come through those three guards, like Down, McCain, and Ricky Council. Oklahoma City, Toronto. So another team that we've already seen play. Ousmane Dieng at the top at 7.7K. I would say it's probably one of my favorite plays on the slate. Kind of a guy that's going to do everything. Oklahoma City's been running a pretty tight rotation. So, yeah, I like Dieng a lot. He had some decent games on that Oklahoma City team last summer league. Again, that was playing alongside Chet and J-Dub and guys like that, right? So, completely different roster. Ousmane Dieng is their go-to guy. So, yeah, I think he looks pretty good. And I also like AJ Mitchell a lot. Solid minutes, 28 minutes. He's been averaging a high 20s minutes, 5.7K. I think he stands as a really good option here in the mid-range. Other options, Keontae Johnson, reasonable. But yeah, let's move on to Toronto. So Toronto's a team we have not seen yet, but pretty good idea of what they're going to do the starting lineup. So you do have some bets here with Bachi, Grady Dick, and Freeman Liberty. Freeman Liberty, assuming he starts, I think stands a pretty good option here as a value play. Had a really nice summer league last year. Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji have a pretty high ceiling, but I would say there's probably other spend ups that look a little bit better. And then you have the rookies. So Jacoby Walter is 7.5K. He's a guy that if he's knocking down shots has a pretty high ceiling, but I would say more of a tournament play there. And then, yeah, we'll monitor what they do with the starting lineup for who I think that fifth starter will be. But I think definitely Freeman Liberty, Walter, Dick, and Agbaji. San Antonio and Portland, another team that we have seen already. Now, you did have Mensa, I believe, get a little bit banged up. I'm gonna have to do some digging to see if he'll be available. But yeah, top end guys, you got Castle and Ingram. Castle 8.3K. Hasn't really had any huge games. He's a guy that kind of stuff the stat sheet. Harrison Ingram at 5.8K. I think a little bit easier to get to. So just because of the price point. But yeah, Sissoko. I mean, he's been starting, but not playing huge minutes, so it doesn't stand out as an amazing option. I do think Bouye is a fair value play. He's been starting at the point guard position, so him and you got him and Castle kind of doing the playmaking, right? Bouye and Castle, so but I think Bouye is a little bit easier to get to at that price. And then yeah, like I said, I'll keep an eye on the Nathan Mensah news there. Let's talk about Portland. So. Portland, we're not seeing yet either. Bryce McGowens was playing for Charlotte in those pre-summer league games, but now he's over to Portland. He had one bad game and two pretty solid games, but you look at this roster, a lot of super high usage players. But Clingan, Donovan Clingan is probably the guy that really stands out the most to me. 8.1K. Obviously expect him to start and probably play, I don't know, high 20s minutes or so. So I think he stands out as a really good point per dollar play. You have Chris Murray going into his second year. Expect him to get good run. But yeah, I think all the spend ups, you got McGowens, Murray, and Clingan. Clingan's probably my favorite option there. And then as far as the rest of this team goes, I mean, you have some options. Cravion Smith, I believe, was on the 76ers Summer League last year. Anaya was on Portland. He got some run. Ryan Rupert for the Blazers in the regular season. I think Rupert's a little bit interesting at that price. But let's talk about Utah and Dallas. So Utah, one thing to note here, we got no Keontae George, no Walker Kessler. So they did play in those pre-summer league games, so they've already been ruled out. It's not over here on Draftkings, but yeah, B-Right already said that. No Keontae George and no Walker Kessler. So that changes things here for Utah. Makes them look pretty appealing, right? So starting lineup, I think you're going to see Hendricks, Bryce Sensabaugh, Collier, Kenny Lofton, and then Baisley. That's what they started in the one game that George and Kessler missed. I mean, you could see Filipowski start as well. He's kind of struggled though to open up the summer league, but yeah, with no Keontae George and no Walker Kessler, I think there's a lot to like. I mean, Kenny Lofton at 6.2K. We know the type of upside that he has, when playing for Memphis for a few years in the summer league. So I think he really stands out in the mid range. Hendricks and Sensabaugh, solid options as well. I expect Utah to run a pretty tight rotation, probably 8 guys from what we've been seeing in those pre-summer league games. And then I like Collier as well. Expect him to start and probably play, again, high 20s minutes. So Collier looks good. Lofton looks good. Baisley, if he starts, he's been around for a while. He's at Oklahoma City for a bit. If he gets to start, which I think he will, 4.7K, he looks pretty good. If Filipowski starts, then QBD's an option. But again, he's kind of struggled so far in the summer league. But yeah, you got Lofton, you got Collier, Baisley, I think all pretty good point per dollar plays. Let's talk about Dallas. So Dallas, you have some vets on this team. Prosper and AJ Lawson. Prosper at 7.6. We had Jaden Hardy was on the team last year, so Jaden Hardy kind of dominated the usage. So a lot more usage around here for this Dallas team. Lawson's been around for a bit. I think it's his 3rd year now, I want to say. So Lawson, Prosper, both fair plays at 7.6 and 7.3. No real strong takes in either of them. Brandon Williams, another guy that's been around for a while. He played for Portland for a bit. He's probably going to start at the point, would be my guess. And then their draft pick, Melvin Jinsa, 51st overall pick. What did he average? 9 and 3. So not huge numbers, but he'll probably get a start as well. And then potentially some more value here because a lot of these guys are really cheap. But yeah, this is probably one of the worst rosters for the summer league, right? So, but again, with no Hardy, there's a lot of usage around. So Williams, Lawson, Prosper, those probably the guys going to be running the show offensively. All right, and finally we got Phoenix and Golden State. We have not seen Phoenix yet either. You have a mix of vets and rookies. Roddy is the vet listed at the top. Again, he was on Memphis last year for summer league. He's a guy that kind of stuffs the stat sheet. I have no issue with spending up for him. And then you have a lot of rookies, right? So you got Ryan Dunn. He was the 28th overall pick. You got the big Oso Igodaro. Again, I'm definitely going to be mispronouncing a lot of these rookie names, so bear with me, guys. But what do you average? 13 and 7 in college, 13, 7 and 3, so 6K. Assuming he starts, I'm pretty sure he will. I think he's a good value. Again, bigs in the summer league just have a bit of a higher floor. Tyson Walker's been around for a little bit. He can put the ball in the bucket. So, you have some vets down here too. Quindary Witherspoon's been around for a while. He played in the Magic summer league last year, I want to say. But he's been around for a good amount. All right, let's finish up here with Golden State. So Golden State, we have seen. Now, Jackson Davis and Podziemski have only played in one game because they were practicing with the Olympic team, right? Podziemski played 29 minutes. Jackson Davis only played 22. So concerning minutes there for TJD. Now, in the summer league last year, he was coming off an injury, so I completely understood why they limited him. But him only playing 22 minutes a couple days ago made absolutely no sense. Again, I was on full tilt mode because I had his over rebounds, and he was barely played in the second half for literally absolutely no reason. So yeah, if he plays 22 minutes, again, pretty tough to go there. I think Podziemski would be the spend up I prefer. But if he plays similar minutes, if Jackson Davis plays 29 minutes, which he should be, starters, main guys in the summer league should be playing high 20s, low 30s minutes. Let's not be trolling him playing 22 for literally no reason whatsoever. If they play similar minutes, I think I would lean Jackson Davis. But if Podziemski's going to play a lot more, I think he's the guy I would lean over Jackson Davis. Guy Santos, I believe, will be back because he played with Brazil, and I want to say Brazil got eliminated from the Olympics. I could be wrong. I'll have to double check on that. If Brazil, I have to look. If Brazil is playing in the Olympics later this month, then Santos probably won't play with the summer league team. But if they got eliminated, which I think they did, he should be back. Kevin Knox is on this team as well. He hasn't been getting a ton of run. He got 19 minutes last time out. Let's see what else. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the starting lineup, but I expect a lot. If Santos is back, should be a lot of the offense run through Jackson Davis, Pojemski, and Santos. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up. Again, I'll have an early slate video up for Patreon members. Also, another roster construction, kind of going a little bit more in depth, breaking this one down. Player pool, live stream, some props as well, all that good stuff. Again, it's a grind. Only day one, so we got a lot more Summer League action. And yeah, really appreciate all the support, guys. If you do enjoy the video, just make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. See you all in the next one.